Now, Clea was giving Wonder Woman the business, and there's a reason why. Once we find out that reason why, it also opens up the door for another character to be introduced in the Absolute Universe. Support this comic book series by visiting your LCS. My name is Doran, this is SEO Comics. We continue our coverage of Absolute Wonder Woman for number 12. Our story starts off in the prison maze of Area 51, and the spirit that was willing to help Wonder Woman once it got complete, we see is the Trident of Poseidon. And with it, she is putting in some work on these fishmen. And Ferdinand's also putting in some work too. She tells Ferdinand to duck, and she does her best Busta Rhymes and goes, "Let me show you how I keep this Trident going while we dealing with these fishmen here." And she blasts the hell out of them. But when I mean Clea ain't soft, she ain't soft at all, and she is putting it on Wonder Woman. Hits with a left hand and catches her with a right knee. Does a double hand axe handle smash to her back, and like I said, putting in work on Wonder Woman. But the Wonder Woman, beat and bloody, pretty much picks up a rock and tells it to find Io, and when it does, to seal the maze behind her, says a magical spell, and the rock takes off. And then she tells Ferdinand, "Don't worry about these fishmen, go follow that rock, get the hell out of here." And then Ferdinand's like, "But what about you?" And one of them was like, "Don't worry about me, I'll find another way, get out of here." So now these fistmen start jumping on Wonder Woman. She starts beating them back, but then Clea jumps on her again and starts putting it on her again. And the reason why Clea is able to put it on Wonder Woman is because Wonder Woman heard that she might be Atlantean. Yeah, I said Atlantean. That means Aquaman, people. That's right. Aquaman getting introduced in the Absolute Universe. Now, Wonder Woman thought that all the Atlanteans were dead, but Clea's living proof that they might not all be dead. And Clea is about to put the boots to her, and pretty much like, "Give me control of the Trident." Wonder Woman catches her foot and is like, "You know what? I'm tired of playing with you," and throws her up in the air. She calls for the Trident. It comes to her, and then she starts putting on the fishman, but then Clea jumps on her again and then puts her in a rear naked choke. So the Ferdinand is following the rock straight to Io. Io is getting the people through the portal. Io sees Ferdinand, asks about Diana, and then Ferdinand's like, "She told me to just go find you, and then she'll find another way out." So then Io's like, "All right, Ferdinand, you go first. I'll be right behind you." Ferdinand goes through the portal. He appears in the Heron, and then he collapses, grabbing his ears. Why? Because his siren that he helped out in the maze is doing her siren song, and it doesn't sound that great. Actually, it sounds painful because everybody's in pain. But Ferdinand is able to tough through it. He gets to her and he calms her down so she can shut the hell up. So then we go back to Wonder Woman and Clea is choking the hell out of Wonder Woman, and she's like, "Everything was fine until you got here." And Wonder Woman was like, "Was it really?" And she pops her in the jaw, and it's like, "You were trapped here inside of a prison, and you were saying everything was fine? You were literally cutting off the limbs of the fishmen, your fishmen, and eating them to survive." And Clea's like, "They regenerate, it's fine." So the Wonder Woman was like, "What if I can get you out of here? Like, really get you out of here?" And Clea's like, "That's impossible." Wonder Woman was like, "It's not impossible. You see that there? See, the people that you were trying to hunt down, they dug that hole and it leads to the Pacific Ocean. That's the ocean. That's your ocean. All you gotta do is jump in it and we can get the hell out of here." So the woman was like, "Look, I'm about to jump in there and get the hell out of here. You can either follow me to freedom or you can stay here and keep eating your fishmen. Your choice. I'm leaving." Wonder Woman jumps in. She turns around. Clea and all the fishmen are right behind her. So we cut back to Io. She lets the last person, looks like the scientist, walk through the portal. She's about to walk through the portal, which she needs to, because Wonder Woman opened up that part of the maze to get the hell out of there, but now it's filling up with ocean water, and now it's starting to get to Io. So Io walks through the portal. She says, I am the last, and all of a sudden she is zapped and she disappears. Soon she goes to the Huron. So then we got the Gateway City Harbor, and we see one woman come out of the water, fly in the air with Poseidon's trident. People start taking pictures. She looks over and she sees Clea and the fishmen are swimming out to sea. So I guess maybe back to Atlantis. I don't know. I guess we'll find out here later. So Wonder Woman flies back to the Huron. She sees all the prisoners of the maze, and she finds Etta and Steve Trevor, and she's like, where's my sister? Where's Io? And they're like, she walked through the portal, and as soon as she went to go say something, lightning came down and she disappeared right at that spot. So Wonder Woman goes to that spot, gets on her knees and goes, Hecate, if I have ever pleased you, please give me a sign to let me know that my sister is still alive. All of a sudden, this white dove comes out of nowhere, hands Wonder Woman like a branch or a small branch from a tree, and Wonder Woman's like, that's enough sign for me. So then we cut to a hall that looks Greek as hell. All of a sudden, Io appears, and somebody says her name, and the woman comes over looking just like Wonder Woman and goes, by Hera, Io. And then Io just stays on her knees and goes, Hippolyta, my queen. And then Hippolyta's like, get up, where the hell have you been? And Io's like, there's no time for that. I got good news, great news. Your daughter Diana, she's alive. So then Hippolyta's like, what? She's alive? Ring the bells. They start ringing these bells that come from the tower. I don't know, the church tower or some tower. And she's like, she's alive. Diana's alive. She's just screaming it. Diana's alive as the bells just ring. And if you haven't guessed it, this is the mascara. So then we cut back to the Area 41 Black site, and Miss Kale is pissed at Dr. Poison. She's like, we lost all the assets in that maze, all because you want to point Wonder Woman in this direction. She's like, the estimate to just repair the damn place rivals the gross national product of several impressive nations. So tell me why I don't just vacuum you up again in the vents and be done with you. And Dr. Poison's like, because you need me, Kale, now more than ever, and I need a new damn suit. So then Kale's like, you know what? I got you. You are still some use to me. So I'll get you your new suit. She gets off, she walks out, and then she goes to the girl and she's like, all right, get her damn suit. But she's getting the first generation suit. And the girl's like, well, maybe it'll be good because now she'll have a little more function and she can complete some of the other projects that you're giving her. And then Kale's like, I'm moving her to Project SS1. Girl looks at her kind of crazy, and Kale's like, the anger that she's going to have is the only joy that I'm getting right now, so don't ruin it. And then she heads to Project SS1, and then she goes to a cage, and she's like, all right, Zatanna, I'm letting you out against my better wishes because I need you to kill a witch for me. So possibly down the road we're getting Aquaman, and now we're getting Zatanna, and she's a bad guy. Loving every minute of this book.